Okay. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Reema.
You're a little frozen, so just give it a second.
Me again?
Yeah, just a little frozen. I mean, I think it'll go back to normal. There we go.
Yeah, I feel like it always starts when you hit record.
Yeah, it does. All right. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. I know it's been a while, but do you remember what we worked on last time?
Yeah, we did some reprocessing.
We did. We did. Do you remember the target that we were focusing on?
I believe it was me in kindergarten, like sitting in the corner.
Yes. Yes. So with that target memory, um, I just wanted to check if you had experienced or noticed anything in between sessions,
I don't think so.
if there was any, if you had any dreams or any thoughts about the target memory, or if you noticed any change in like what you're feeling or symptoms at all.
Not that I've noticed.
Okay, wonderful. So then going back to that target memory, is it still disturbing?
Very mildly.
Okay. Were there any other associated memories brought up?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. And were the present triggers more or less active at all?
Um, I think less active. Like when I think about it, I'm just less like disturbed or
Okay, great. Great. Well then, let's get back into it if you are ready for that.
yeah.
So now when we think about that target memory, what is the image that is the worst part of this memory now?
Mm, I guess it's kind of shifted. I guess it's more of an associated memory, honestly. It's not really that specific memory anymore. But it's like associated with school. And I just, remember sitting since I was young, like at the kitchen table and feeling like I had to do all my homework and feeling not like I wasn't doing a good enough job.
Okay. So sitting at the kitchen table is probably feeling like you're not doing a good enough job is the image that represents the worst part, correct?
Yes.
And then what emotions are you feeling now?
Mm, it makes me anxious to think about.
Shifts, okay. And on a scale 0 to 10, how disturbing does that feel to you now?
Probably like a 4.
Okay. Now, I want you to bring memory up. Bring that memory up. Notice where you feel it. Feel the disturbance in your body and follow my fingers. All right. And what are you noticing now?
I think like the blurred background is really kind of like it's making it like a really weird. I don't know how to explain it because like parts of it unblur as you go through.
Mm.
So it's like kind of an eye fuck. I don't know.
No problem. Let me just take that off. Okay. Hopefully that's better. Okay. All right. Well, let's start again. So bring up that memory. Notice where you feel that disturbance in your body and follow my fingers. What are you noticing now?
I noticed the anxiety in my chest like increased a lot. And I just kept thinking the phrase like, I wanted and I want to feel capable, but I haven't and I don't.
Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
So much. And we love EMDR in a controlled setting because my brain is going places. Sorry. Like, sorry for this whole, like,
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
but my brain keeps jumping to, like, my first memory is me in kindergarten thinking I was so capable because I was ahead of other people. And my brain immediately jumps to, like, but at home, I felt so incapable. And sitting at that table made me feel so much anxiety. And I think about my exam on the 18th and how much anxiety I have about the exam and how much it just is like connected. And I just feel a lot of anxiety.
Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how being loved always felt conditional. And that was a big part of like productivity and my ability to do well.
Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was just struggling with like the logic of it, which I know like I have value even if I fail this exam on the 18th. I'm a good clinician, even if I, don't pass the first time. I deserve to be loved regardless of my productivity, but also not feeling that, like knowing it logically, but still having the anxiety.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I just kept thinking that I wish that the younger version of myself had felt unconditional love.
Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was just thinking about how I learned at a young age that my value was based on how successful I was being or doing. And I thought of the statement that my sister and I like roll our eyes at now. But my mom used to tell us that like we were her investment. And when you think of investments, if it's not doing well, it has no value.
Um, okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was just feeling like kind of the shift in like anxious state in my chest to more of just like hollow.
Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how I've just always wanted to be loved desperately for like just unconditionally. And I was thinking about how the last words my ex said to me the morning I left was, "You're not worth it." And how it really just perpetuated that feeling. And I was like, how do I give myself the unconditional love throughout this exam that I wanted so much from somebody else?
Mm, okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was talking to myself as if I was a friend who failed the exam and what I would say to them.
Mm. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how I want to find value in small little moments and how like that's been a really big goal for me is being more present and finding those small moments. And I have those with clients and friends and family and by myself all the time. And that's what I find value in. And whether I pass the exam or not, that's still there.
Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I made the connection that like with the passing of the exam comes a raise. And that's also like a value system. And it came back to the idea of like I'm an investment.
Mm, okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
For a while, I just kept saying capitalism in my head. So I was just thinking about that.
Okay. Um, let's let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I feel like I am trying to make this connection that like my value system isn't based on this exam. It's based on like the small moments that I make, but noticing there's still so much anxiety when I think of that.
Okay. Um, where do you feel that in your body?
Definitely my like chest.
Best. Okay. When you go back to that original memory, what are you noticing now?
It's the same anxiety that I felt then.
Same anxiety that you felt then? Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was thinking of that like image, and I was thinking she didn't deserve that. It's okay. I can't. Yeah, there you go. I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was just thinking how like it wasn't that big of a deal then, and it's really not that big of a deal on the grand scheme of things now.
Okay. Okay, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I feel like my brain is just having these repetitive thoughts. And I don't know if it's like struggling to focus because of like ADHD or avoidance, but I just keep saying like the same words over and over again, but not feeling them. And it was just kind of like, we're not even guaranteed tomorrow. Like, why is this feeling like that big of a deal?
Okay. Okay. When you bring up the original memory on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is no disturbance and 10 is the highest disturbance you can imagine, how disturbing does it feel to you now?
Honestly, more disturbing is probably
More
like,
disturbing?
yeah. I think it's not helpful that I'm connecting that to my exam in like 2 weeks. But yeah, like a 6 now.
6? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Let's go with that. What do you notice now?
I just realized like how my own avoidance is coming up, and I keep trying to say positive things to make myself feel better, and obviously I don't feel it because I don't like it's avoidance. And so I've been just trying to sit in like, okay, I'm gonna fail. What do I feel? Like, let's face the hard truth.
Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I honestly got pretty distracted with everything.
I'm so sorry. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. Okay.
Go to your bed.
I don't know if we should go back to the target memory or if I should just go with that. I don't know.
I was really on to something. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Okay. And what are you noticing now?
I was envisioning like opening the paper and it saying fail. And like, yeah, it was sad. Like I was sad, but I wasn't anxious. I was only anxious thinking about having to take it again. It's not like the failing that's really the problem. It's like, okay, I gotta do this shit all over again until I do pass.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
Um,
let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how I was so little and every time I would do bad on something, I would cheat, I would do anything not to do bad. And it was literally just because if my mom saw it, like I was so scared of her reaction. And like, yeah, she knows I'm taking the exam on the 18th, but like her reaction is irrelevant. Like there's literally no consequences except my own. Like she doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. And what do you notice now?
I realized like the first thing I would do if I passed would be to text or call her. And why? There's people that I care about their opinion a lot more in my life. And whether I fail or pass, like, why is my first thought I need to text her and tell her? I don't owe her an answer, an explanation whenever, like, immediately. I can do that whenever I want.
Yeah. Ah. Well, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
Maybe I'm more scared of not receiving her validation than actually failing.
Mhm. Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how my mom's very different than when we were younger, right? Like when I was younger. And so I know her response would be supportive either way, but it's the fact that I still get anxious and feel like I need her support.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking that the person I really want validation or support from is my partner, and I was envisioning like no matter what situation, like being with him, and like one obviously was sad, but it wasn't anxious. It just was.
Okay. Okay. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
Still anxious when I think about like the day I'm gonna have to go in, but I just kept thinking like he loves and supports me either way.
Okay, go with that. What are you noticing now?
Mom has changed in a lot of ways. And yeah, no, she's not perfect, but I'm the only one being this mean to myself now.
Oh, okay, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was envisioning myself like standing there with little me, and would I talk to little me the way that I like treat me now? It's like I always have made it very clear that I don't want to be my mom, and I don't think I am to other people, but I haven't considered how I am to myself.
Mm, okay. Okay. So when you go back to the original memory, what are you noticing now?
That I was so scared and anxious, and I clearly wasn't able to learn the way that she thought I was supposed to, and that wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I wasn't able to get up and take breaks, and I wasn't able to like help my little ADHD brain as a kid, but I can now in this exam. I can do anything I need to do for this exam.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
Just because I can't learn like other people learn doesn't make me dumb or incapable. It just means I need something different.
Yes. Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was thinking of different like snacks or like ice packs or something to bring during my break to be able to really help me, and reiterating that I can take more breaks than the four I've given myself in my head. I can take as many as I need.
Yes. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I just kept thinking about different things that I can do. Normally, like, I like to call people or something, and I know that's not going to be an option. So, different ways that I can give myself reassurance during the exam if I need it.
Okay. All right, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
That I still have some anxiety, but I recognize like I don't have to punish myself. I can just take care of myself.
Huh? And where do you feel that anxiety in your body?
Still my chest.
Your chest, okay. All right, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
It's just telling myself that it's like understandable to be anxious. It's a big exam, and that's not like an indicator of like my ability.
Yes, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
Just remembering that when I was that age from the original image, I used to think so much something's wrong with you, and I would get more and more anxious, and then I would be able to like they had extend test times and everything else for me because I'd get so anxious I couldn't do it, and then I would think I can't do it because I'm so anxious, and it was this cycle. And I was just thinking like, yeah, it's harder. That doesn't mean you're incapable, and your anxiety doesn't have to hinder you.
Absolutely. When you bring up that original memory on a scale 0 to 10, uh, where 0 is no disturbance and 10 is the highest disturbance you can imagine, how disturbing does that memory feel now?
Probably like a 1 or a 2.
Okay, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was putting myself in the position as like an adult when I was sitting at the table and like explaining to little me, yeah, it's different. But there are ways that you can learn how to manage it. And I was like putting myself in the position of teaching her how to manage those things.
Okay, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I went back to thinking about like different skills that like I would tell her or like that I would use.
Okay. Um, Let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
Just kind of more of like, I deserve the chance. Like, I don't deserve to sabotage my own success because I'm anxious.
Yeah, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was thinking about that if I go in and use all of these skills, like I did my best, and not only with like studying, but I also did my best with helping like myself and giving myself what I needed. And even if I failed doing that, at least I did everything I can do for myself during the process.
All right. So when you bring up that original memory now on a scale 0 to 10, uh, where or how disturbing is it now?
I feel like it's like in between a 0 and a 1. It's only disturbing when
Okay.
I think of like my mom.
Okay. Okay. Um, let's go with that. What are you noticing now?
I was just thinking about how she's like, I perceive her as this like dark cloud, like hovering all the time, and how uncomfortable that is.
Ah, Um, where do you feel that in your body?
Kind of like my head and my neck.
Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
That she used to micromanage me and like literally hover in every capacity that she could, and now I just micromanage myself. That's not a great feeling.
What is the most disturbing part of that memory now?
Now I think it's just like me thinking when I was that age, like, where is mom? Like, when is she gonna pop up and surprise me? Like, she was just always somewhere, and I knew she could show up at any moment.
Okay, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking about how I hid so many parts of myself from her, and like my anxiety and my fears to the point now I just avoid them. And I think I'm just doing what I did to her to myself. Like, avoidance is like me not telling her. And it's like, but that's not helping me clearly.
Mm, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I used not to tell her anything because she would be so over dramatic about everything. And it was like always walking on eggshells with her. Like I could say nothing and get yelled at. And I don't have to like avoid things for my safety anymore. Like I can look at the big and scary things and realize like I was being over dramatic. They're not that big and scary.
Okay. Okay, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
That she had such a huge emotional response to everything that I internalized it and thought that I needed to have a huge emotional response.
Okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
I was thinking first about how like I did used to have a large emotional response to things and people would call me dramatic. So then I internalized it and stopped having this outward expression. And I put myself like as an adult at that table and like was the intermediary between little me and like my mom. Like I didn't have to fear.
Okay. Okay, so when you bring up that original memory now on a scale 0 to 10, where 0 is no disturbance and 10 is the highest you can imagine, how disturbing does it feel to you now?
Well, I'm leaving it in the memory that I just created where like adult me is sitting there and it's 0 with adult me sitting there.
Okay. Um, let's go with that. And what do you notice now?
I thought about like adult me holding little me's hand, and I thought about how I'm now a safe person for so many other people. I can be a safe person for myself too.
So now when you bring up that original memory on a scale 0 to 10, how disturbing does it feel to you now?
0.
0. Now, does the words "I am enough" still fit, or is there another positive statement you feel that would be more suitable?
It still fits.
Still fits? Awesome. Now think about that memory and those words, "I am enough," from 1 completely false to 7 completely true. How true do they feel?
5.5, 6.
I want you to hold them together, those words, "I am enough," and that memory, and follow my fingers. So on a scale 1 to 7, how true do the words "I am enough" feel to you now?
6.5.
Yeah, okay. All right. Once again, hold them together. Hold that memory together in the words "I am enough" and follow my fingers. All right. Now, on a scale 1 to 7, how true do the words "I am enough" feel to you now?
7.
7. Wonderful. Okay. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and keep in mind that original memory and the words "I am enough." Then bring your attention to the different parts of your body, starting with your head and working downward. Any place you find any tension, tightness, or unusual sensation, let me know.
Definitely still some anxiety in my chest.
Okay. Um, let's let's go back to noticing that anxiety in your chest, and let's go with that. Okay. And what are you noticing now?
That while it's really uncomfortable, like I acknowledge that I just have testing anxiety, and like just because it's there doesn't mean that I'm gonna do poorly. Like I have to be okay with it being there.
Okay. Um, let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
That like my anxiety peaked and then it came back down, and that's like an accurate representation of like when it peaks it doesn't have to, like I can take a moment and it can come back down.
Okay. Um, is is that um is that feeling or sensation a positive or comfortable sensation?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with that. And what are you noticing now?
Just again thinking about how I have time to hold space for my anxiety, and like that's, I expect it to be there because like I'm anxious. That's not something that magically goes away,
Mhm.
but I can manage that.
All right. Is there a gesture or movement that would help you connect with that feeling of I am enough, or just that new getting comfortable with anxiety feeling? that you had mentioned?
Every time I've had anxiety, I always just like touching my chest helps me take like a deeper breath.
Okay. Right. Um, let's let's go with that. Okay. And how what do you notice now?
That while my chest is still a little bit tight, it's significantly decreased.
Okay. Wonderful. Um, I I'm a little just stuck because it seems like the body scan is definitely is like more clear than it was originally.
Yeah.
And you have that like this that you said was is a positive feeling or gesture. And I'm not sure with that if I should just go straight to closure or
From like my non-clinical perspective, like as the client, like throughout this process, like I recognize I have anxiety and I always have, and it always felt like something I had to hide. And so like this is more about acceptance of like it's not something I have to hide, it's something I can hold space for and it still doesn't have to control me. And
right.
so like I have no intention of like the body scan being clear. Like I recognize it's okay that it's not, and like I can
Yeah,
still manage in that.
yeah.
So for me, this is kind of like where I recognize I am, and I'm okay with that.
And that's what I was noticing as well, because like I said, it went from, that still that tightness, and then it went from the tightness to down, and then the tightness decreased. And I feel like that is like your normal,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay.
Yeah.
So, um,
Can I request one? Like a a closing?
oh yeah,
Because I don't really like the container.
yeah.
But I do love the pendulation exercise, and I actually think that might be super helpful for me right now to be able to
Sure.
notice anxiety, but also find other spaces in my body that are more neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so you've done some very good work, and I appreciate the effort you've made. What feels like the most important thing you have learned about yourself or for yourself today?
Like, I'm capable, like, even with anxiety or with this fear, like, I can still handle it. I just need to hold space for what I need.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. Okay, so with that, I do suggest we do a mindfulness, and you requested the pendulation exercise. So, I'd like to invite you to bring up something that's mildly disturbing, maybe some recent irritation, and focus on how you are experiencing that in the present moment. If we were to scale the hardest thing at a 10 and the easiest thing at a 0, it may be something like a 3 on disturbance level. I'd like you to do this very slowly and gently, and how you are experiencing this in your body. If this is too big or overwhelming, just notice the edges of the sensation in your body. I would like to invite you to gently feel into this experience of disturbance, noticing whatever is here. Physical sensation like tension, pain, tingling, heaviness, or emotions like sadness, grief, anger, or energy like tingling, pulsating, or vibrating. Whatever is here, I'd like to invite you to welcome it by saying the feeling or sensation, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. And I'd like to invite you to repeat this a few times. Notice what changes as you welcome what is here. You may notice sensations like hot, cold, tingling, tightness. You may notice visual images like colors, shapes, or images. You may notice emotion or direction. You may notice textures like rough, smooth, or jagged. Here's a list of words that may help: foggy, frozen, heavy, crushing, light, contracted, piercing, stagnant, empty. If you would like, you can come up with a word that describes this experience. And if so, what would that be?
Tight.
Focus on what is happening now in the present moment. If you can, be really honest with yourself about what is here and the true sensation of each moment, observing it moving or shifting. If possible, observe it with curiosity as if you were watching water move through a stream. Now, I would like to invite you to notice a place in your body that feels totally different, a part that is not experiencing the disturbance, that feels calm, neutral, peaceful, settled, grounded, connected, comfortable, or any different, more pleasant experience. Spend some time feeling into this part of your body, even if it is only a tiny spot on the tip of your toe or nose. Begin noticing Begin noticing the felt sense of experience with this part of your body and sense it into the part as you did with the activation. Here is a list of words that may help: calm, relaxed, peaceful, content, neutral, warm, light, still, expansive, flowing. If you would like, you can choose a name for this sensation or experience, like calm or peace. Now I would like to invite you to go between those two places using the name to connect to them if that works for you. If it works for you, slowly move your awareness back and forth between those areas of tension and relaxation or calm. Pay attention to what happens. Notice if your body automatically has a release, like a breath or a movement or any other change. And notice that your breathing is slowing down and you appear more relaxed. What what are you noticing?
just like a sense of heaviness, and it's not like a negative sense.
Okay. Is there anything else that you're noticing from this experience?
No, just learning to be present with it.
Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, uh, take a couple deep breaths if you need to, and whenever you're ready, just come back to me, to the present. The processing we've done today may continue after the session. You may or may not notice new insights, thoughts, memories, or dreams. If so, just notice what you're experiencing, and if you wish, you can record it on the Memories and Lies log. Use the resources we have worked on to manage any disturbance. We can work on this material next time, and if necessary, you have my number and you can call me.
Thank you, Reema.
Thank you, Emily. You did such a wonderful job. I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.